Everyone who's trying to make a hero out of this guy. This guy did everything possible not to get caught and take responsibility for his heroic action. Welcome back to Under Oath. You know, something happened in the last week or two, which I think really, as an attorney, as a human being, as a citizen, I'm bothered a little bit. And we're talking about the Unitedhealthcare CEO shooting that just happened in New York. Now, you're aware of this, right, Craig?
Oh, yeah. I don't think you could be a member of any demographic and not be aware of this. It's been pumped into every social media channel you can think of.
Now, take your politics out of it. We'll both walk away from that for a second. Actually, for this whole thing.
Yeah, it's not hard to do in a case like this. This isn't, I don't see my opinion on this being really that flavored by politics, more humanity. The facts that we've been given are this valedictorian from high school, graduate from Ivy League college, sat outside this hotel with a gun and waited for the CEO, Brian Thompson, to come out of his hotel, the Hilton, and shot him, and then took off. He was arrested. He wound up, somebody at McDonald's recognized him in Pennsylvania and turned him in, and then the cops came and arrested him. There's a whole controversy over
now,
that.
You would think that was the story. You stalked a dude, you shot him, and got caught. Now, what controversy do you think would happen? What could be controversial about it? You didn't like what somebody was doing, and you shot him.
Well, what do you mean controversial?
Well,
what's controversial?
What's controversial is that people have a different side. There are actually people on this guy's side.
Yeah, that's the controversy. I don't understand that. I don't understand how you can be on the side of a murderer.
Now, this is first-degree murder. It was premeditated and accomplished.
Oh,
now, if this was any other state, now New York doesn't have capital punishment. So those people are thinking, oh, he's going to get the death penalty. As of 2004, doesn't exist. You know, the Supreme Court of New York said no. The New York Court of Appeals said we don't think it's okay. So you can't be put to death. So he could do life. But are you surprised how it seems like half the people are jumping on this thing and going, well, you know, maybe he deserved it.
Surprise isn't sad. Sad is the better explanation for what I'm feeling when I see people celebrating someone being murdered. It's absolutely awful that people would celebrate that. And they give all these political reasons on why they are celebrating it. It's terrible.
Now, what's weird is in New York, the charge is only second-degree murder. I'll be surprised if that's what they settle for. But it's second-degree murder.
What would constitute first-degree murder if waiting for somebody?
Maybe they're claiming it wasn't premeditated. I think waiting for somebody to come out of a hotel to shoot him is premeditated, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't understand why it can't possibly be first-degree murder. Or maybe they just don't charge first-degree murder anymore since there isn't a death penalty.
Now, I'm used to randos on the internet, you know, claiming to understand, you know, the law and getting up there and giving their opinions and being mad about it. What I'm surprised about is somebody who graduated law school get up and make a claim, well, it was bound to happen. Now, you would think that'd be a typical lawyer. That's not even a typical lawyer. That's the senator of Massachusetts, Elizabeth Warren, who wrote down it was bound to happen. Now, whatever side you're on, if anybody takes a shot at Biden or a shot at President Trump, we can agree that that's bad. And you can't, and the idea, well, that was bound to happen.
No, I agree. But is she being, the issue with her is she just illuminating what she thinks is actually happening because of circumstances, or does she want this to happen? When you say things like that, it was bound to happen. There's two ways to take it. Yeah, of course this happened. It had to happen because what he or they or this company was doing was so illegal. Did she mean it that way? Or was she just saying, oh, yeah, well, hey, we've got this country where people don't value life anymore. So randomly shooting random people for, what you think is a good vigilante type of reason to do it was bound to happen. I don't know the context of Warren's
But do you
statement.
have to be careful when you say something like that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially-
if you are an elected official,
I think if you're a regular person.
if you're a leader, especially if you're an elected official or a leader, and you're saying if you're saying anything that in any way justifies this, I think you're screwing up bad. Real bad. What do you think's going to happen in that state now?
Here's the answer when you get asked the question. It's real simple. I'm not going to discuss the state of health insurance as far as this matter concerns. That's something for us to talk about when we're in Congress, when a bill gets passed, when we're trying to regulate somebody. I will not discuss that issue when a human being is shot in the head solely because he's the CEO of a company. I said there is no excuse for it.
That's a little bit simpler. It's not just because he was CEO. It was because he was a CEO of Unitedhealthcare.
That's what I'm saying.
Unitedhealthcare, like a lot of other health insurance companies, are taking steps to restrict certain medical procedures or paying for certain medical procedures.
Correct. Let's turn this to something we do for a living. You and I are accident attorneys.
Mm-hmm.
We represent people who are hurt as of no fault of their own, by no fault of their own. Okay. What if the head of another insurance company who doesn't do healthcare, they do car crashes? Let's say Progressive or one of these companies, that somebody shoots one of these guys because their mother, this company refused to settle with their mother, and you shot the CEO of one of these companies.
Absolutely wrong.
Okay. So we can agree. If they came to us about it, we would say, listen.
Absolutely wrong. Yeah.
There is no place in the world for murder.
Well, they're looking at it. They're looking at it from just a warped perspective. Any CEO has an obligation to the shareholders of the company they are running the company for. That's his primary obligation. His obligation is to make sure that people that invest in Unitedhealthcare see a good return. His job isn't necessarily the health of the people who utilize his service. If you have a problem with insurance companies denying, that's a legal issue. Bring that to your state. Pass laws that say things like, hey, you can't prohibit or you can't deny coverage based on pre-existing. You can't deny coverage based on the doctor charging 10% more than the standard rate in that community. Restrict the health insurance companies so that they end up having to help people. Don't put it on Brian Thompson and the people running the healthcare industry that they somehow aren't obligated to their shareholders. That's his job. His job is to make his shareholders as much money as he can. It's the government's job, Miss Warren's job, to make sure that her constituents are protected. She's the one who failed in this case, not Brian Thompson.
You and I deal with a lot of things all the time when it comes to certain issues concerning, for example, products that were made defective. And they knew they were defective. They said, listen, these things might blow up, like the Pinto case.
Yeah.
Ford Pinto, they came out with these cars. They knew they were going to blow up. And they said, well, we're just going to we'd rather pay the cost.
It's cheaper.
It was cheaper for us to pay the lawsuits off.
Can you believe their expert admitted that it was cheaper to pay off the lawsuits of the people we killed than to fix it?
Not once did I hear, hey, how about we murder one of the Ford executives? Why don't we commit all and out murder? Now, New York is kind of a little iffy with their first degree murder charges. And we mentioned that before. First degree murder in most states is just premeditation. That's all it requires.
I would
New
think.
York only gives a crap when it comes to their judges. If you shoot a judge or first responder, something like that, or murder for hire. Like I got paid to do it.
Hopefully we have enough time for me to go into a conspiracy theory on this.
No, not yet. Not yet. We might.
No, at the end.
But the issue,
I got a good one.
The issue involved really here is, when do we just go, no, we're not going to do it? Now, New York has a history of prosecuting based on political purposes. And in fact, in New York City, you got, the district attorney Bragg. He's been notorious for going out of his way to figure out ways to find somebody guilty under weird laws. I wonder how he feels about just this raw murderer. I wonder, I haven't heard any comments from him yet.
Oh, he's going to let this guy go.
He'll probably say,
he's going to give Luigi Mangione?
Mangione, I believe his name is.
Mangione? He's going to give him diversion. Hey, if you do some community service for the Humane Society.
I know that sounds humorous, and I know we're not supposed to take that. But normally this case would be real simple. You shoot somebody intentionally. You're not doing it to protect anybody other than your own moral beliefs. And you do this. And this is what happened, I think, in today's world. I think we've been applying the law based on just how we feel, our own political beliefs. And in this case, anybody who can say, well, he deserved it. Man, that applies to so many different things. Oh, I don't like you because you're a lawyer. I don't like you because you're a doctor. I don't like you because you're a police officer.
In one of my favorite movies, it's with Clint Eastwood's Unforgiven. And the kid who would be the assassin is talking to old Clint Eastwood, who is the real assassin, and says, well, he had it coming for what he did. And Clint Eastwood looks at this kid and goes, kid, we all got it coming. And what a powerful line. And that's more to the people who are cheering on this assassination. You're cheering on, you got it coming too. Everybody you know has it coming. Everybody in your life has done something that they're not proud of, and by a lot. I don't mean got a B on a test they should have gotten an A. I mean things that they are ashamed of, that they would never admit to doing if they could avoid it. Most people in your life have something like that. You start going around killing people just because of how you feel about it, then we don't have a country. We don't have a society anymore. It's ridiculous.
We're at a tough time in our lives where we're justifying our actions by our own feelings. How many times have I heard in the last 4 years, well, I know it's not legal. I know I'm not legally right, but I'm morally right. And it scares the hell out of me that things are getting done because of individuals' moral belief.
Yeah, what you're talking about is a framework called a Machiavellian framework. So if you're the kind of person that thinks the ends justify the means, as long as the result is good, any evil method to achieve that result is justified. That's Machiavellian, and a lot of people, I'd probably say half the country, think that that's okay. As long as the result is good or your intention is good, it doesn't matter what kind of evil you commit in the pursuit of that ultimate good thing. And that's not our country. That's never been the United States.
The gun was a printed gun. It was a ghost gun. Now, let me ask this weird question. This kid was rich, like rich. His family is worth like stupid money.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
his father, his grandfather, incredibly well-connected businessmen in the New York, New Jersey area.
Hundreds of millions, right?
Wouldn't be surprising if somebody, great-great-grandfather might have been in the mafia long, long ago. Who knows? I'm totally guessing. I don't know that for sure, but that would be a way to explain how much millions of dollars this family has.
Now, most likely, and he had access to a lot of guns, and he printed this gun. Now, for those who don't know, you could actually print a weapon.
You cannot.
You can.
You cannot.
You can.
You have to print
it's a ghost
all
gun.
The individual parts, and then you have to assemble the gun. You got to be a fairly sophisticated gunsmith type of person to be able to do that.
Do you know our government?
I could give you all of the parts to a gun, and you couldn't put it together.
Watch this. Our government believes there are over 45,000 printed guns in circulation in the U.S. alone.
Yeah, any blacksmith can make any gun.
Not a blacksmith.
Long
you
time
need
ago.
a blacksmith. There's no metal.
There's
just plastic.
No, I don't think it's. I don't think you're shooting plastic.
It's
guns.
a polymer. No, the bullet is made of bullet.
The bullet's made of bullet.
Yes, it's a metal bullet. It's a regular bullet, but the gun itself is plastic.
Yeah.
I mean, is that crazy? And this dude actually printed it up. So this is the guy who had access to An unbelievable, probably a gazillion different guns.
Could have bought any gun.
Could have bought any gun. He intentionally. So here's the thing, hero. Everyone who's trying to make a hero out of this guy did everything possible not to get caught and take responsibility for his heroic action. Because that's what he believes it was. He had a manifesto. He had a lot of things written out.
He should have just stopped in the middle of the street, put his hands up, and wait for police to come. If you want to be a hero, then be the hero.
Yeah. Oh,
don't run away from what you did.
Exactly. I wrote a manifesto because I expected to get caught. I print a gun because I hope not to get caught. I actually get caught in a McDonald's. And dude, I got to be honest with you. You valedictorian, Ivy League graduate,
Smart
and you
kid.
Can't figure out not
Smart
to walk
kid.
into the restaurant? You could have drove through.
That's part of the conspiracy.
You could have driven through.
You don't want me to talk about the conspiracy?
No,
theory,
I don't
that's
want you to.
Okay,
I don't want you
because
to.
there's a good one on it.
I know there's a good one. But here's the stupid thing, people. You want to support this dude who intentionally killed somebody because he thought it was morally right, but he didn't want to be held morally responsible for it. And that's the trick of the game here. If you're going to sacrifice your life, it's hard to take you serious when you want to get away with it and possibly live in Mexico or do whatever you want and be responsible for killing somebody, but not take responsibility for your actions. So this isn't a heroic thing. This is a murder. It's plain and simple. And there's no excuse for it. Imagine if everybody said, hey, I hate my boss. I hate what Apple does. I hate what this guy does. I hate what this company does. And anytime you dislike a company, you can shoot the head of the company.
All the people cheering this on, well, why stop at the CEO? There's a lot of people on the board of Unitedhealthcare, and there's other insurance companies as well. Are you going to advocate that all of those people get killed too? Are you going to be cheering? Do we need to kill 80 and 120 people to satisfy your bloodlust over this issue? How many people have to die?
Realistically, you're upset over the healthcare system. Okay, are there worse companies out there? Yeah, the companies that make guns. The company makes chemical weapons. There's a lot of people out there that if you decide are doing more damage than good, that you have a right to kill them. And that's ridiculous.
And the people cheering it on, they're so happy that some guy has to pay the price for the failure of their government to make sure that these healthcare plans treat their people the way they should be treated. This is a government issue. The federal government can force these companies to provide or to go through such red tape when they deny a claim that it makes no business sense for them to do it. But they don't do that. They don't do that at all. And that's where the real failure is, in the leadership of each state, each senator, each House of Representative member who doesn't have on their immediate agenda to fix the healthcare system. You're continuing to make the same failure that led to Brian Thompson's death.
Now, jury nullification. This kid's going to be tried in New York City. What's the odds of having somebody on that jury who's got a problem?
Never see a jury. This guy is going to get whisked away to a state mental hospital. I guarantee it.
Really?
Guarantee it.
Oh, you think people who kill somebody for a cause?
We'll run an episode a year from now, and he'll be in a mental institution.
You think these judges? You think the judge would be so?
Judge is paid for.
I don't know. I don't know if I can say that. I don't like it. I don't like the concept that money could buy you justice. In the last week alone, I can't tell you how many pardons were passed down. Pardons that go exactly against what we believe is morally right. And somebody said to me the other day, actually, I was reading on somebody's feed today, we should change the president's ability to pardon people. And I said to him, I said,
well, let's do it retroactively then.
Well, what I said,
if we're going to do it, let's do it retroactively.
Well, what I said to him was this. I said, you realize we haven't changed our Constitution since 1992? And this is where we're going to draw the line? This is the one thing in the Constitution that we think is so important that the first change we've made in 25 years? I don't know. Everybody gets up in arms over stuff. Every president, they go, well, why did he do it after the election?
Well, you know why?
They always do it on the way out the door.
You
Nobody
know
does it
why.
beforehand.
Yeah, of course not.
Nobody announces a big
and that's
pardon.
not even a Democrat Republican thing. They all do
everything.
that exact same thing. You wouldn't. It's political suicide to do the pardons before you run for re-election. Of course. And actually, Biden's people are lucky that he was out because now he can give him the pardon now.
Nobody's pardoning this because it's not a federal case, it's a state case. So you can't pardon somebody for a state case. The governor can, but not the president.
Well, I was talking about Biden's pardons. I'm not talking about this particular case.
You know, that's the weird thing. A lot of people, when they think the president can pardon somebody, they don't realize only federal charges. Only federal. Like if you get the death penalty in Florida, nope. Has to be the governor. Got to go to the governor.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a government?
That is going to backfire, though. Can I
Sure.
tell you how that's going to backfire? Because so President Biden wants to keep his son out of prison.
Already done deal.
So not necessarily.
What do you mean?
So what he's done is he's pardoned his son. Okay. Then what's going to happen now is he no longer can plead the fifth. He can no longer say, hey, the answers to these questions might incriminate myself. You can't force me to answer these questions. He doesn't have that right anymore. He's been pardoned.
I don't remember.
So now he has to answer whatever question he is subpoenaed to answer to. So you subpoena him in.
For what?
Whatever.
No, for what?
Just
a civil case?
Just whatever.
What kind of civil case could you subpoena him? You tell me why. What would he be under subpoena for?
Because you're trying to distract me. Let me get to the point. The point is he gets subpoenaed and he has to answer questions about his dad or his someone in the Biden family before he could plead the fifth. With a blanket pardon, he can't plead the fifth. So he has to answer the question. If he doesn't answer the question, here's the kicker. If he doesn't answer the question, then the judge can say, okay, you're in contempt of court. We have a nice little cell over here for you until you decide that you want to answer these questions.
Real simple. Craig? See, Craig's a lawyer, but he pretends he's not sometimes when he wants to push an opinion. Like, this is real simple. Watch this. What happened on this date? I don't remember.
If he can say, I don't remember, you would have to be careful with the questions.
I don't remember.
But
how much money did you get? I don't remember. Did you remember having this meeting? I don't remember.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't remember. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember. Don't know.
He could. But
how tough is it? Don't know. Don't remember. You know, I was doing a lot of drugs back then. Did you read my book?
Did you see how many drugs? I think there's a video. If you look hard enough,
there's a lot of videos of me.
You can see me doing some drugs. I don't remember.
In fact, there are a lot of notes by the Secret Service who were watching me at the time.
That would be a way to counter having to appear and answer depositions. That is true.
See, Craig and I have practiced law for a very long time together, over a quarter of a century.
Long time.
And Craig, from the beginning, always believes in the letter of the law, that everyone will do the right thing and they will follow through and be straightforward
I do hope that. Is that
and
a bad thing?
honest, and judges will only rule based on the law and everything else like this.
Is that a bad thing
and
to hope for?
I go, well, explain the Supreme Court to me. Well, see, that's different. Explain to me why this guy lies on the stand and doesn't care about perjury. Well, we know why. Everyone perjures themselves on the stand, and we've seen it. You and I have spent 28 years listening to liars. You and I tried a case the other day where this dude lied every second, and the jury still was okay with it.
Let's say he does that. He says, I don't remember. Theoretically, since it's a brand new crime, you could prosecute him. You could bring that to a jury and say, crime? He's lying about not remembering.
Oh, stop it.
He's lying about that. How do you prove that? Well, you let a jury decide.
No, you don't. You have to have some evidence.
I do. There
he doesn't remember.
Saying that he doesn't remember.
Is there somebody out
receiving $300 million from this Chinese oil company?
I don't remember. Well, we have it. Okay. You have it, but I don't remember it.
You remembered enough to spend it. You put it in your personal account. You bought a house with it.
I never said. Okay. I don't remember it. I thought it came from other places.
Yeah, I think it's going to backfire.
You and I both know perjury is the most difficult thing for anybody to bring forward unless they have you dead to rights.
Prosecutors will not even look at a perjury.
I never had sexual relations with that woman.
Oh, hold on. He lost his license in Arkansas.
Not for that, though.
For lying under oath, he did.
No, he lied about having something else. He didn't lie anything. They took his licenses away. He was never prosecuted for perjury. Practice law, understand the law before you get on the internet and start claiming you understand it.